In 2019, I ran my first 5K. It was brutal, I stopped and walked a lot, but crossing the finish line gave me a sense of achievement, and I wanted more. Since then, I've been challenging myself, running my first half marathon all by myself with zero running knowledge, surviving through marathon training that completely changed my life, and pushing through all the highs and lows of running injuries. Now, after 30 races and 20 pairs of running shoes, I've learned that running is just not a sport. It's a journey of growth. Whether you're a beginner or looking for a bit motivation to get started, I hope my stories resonate with you. Hi everyone, my name is Swan and welcome to RunQuest, your go-to spot for running gear reviews and beginner tips to make your runs easier and more fun. Today's video is gonna be a bit different. So instead of sharing reviews or tips, I'll be walking you through my own running journey, how I struggled in my first 5K to completing marathon and beyond. Social media often highlights those glorifies of the high-profile runners or influencers. While that can be very inspiring, I want to offer you another more realistic perspective, just an average runner trying to go through all the ups and downs and improving the performance over time. Whether you're a beginner or just looking to have some motivation to get started, I hope my story resonates with you. What was your first race look like, or are you still hesitated to sign up for one? Leave me a comment below, but for now, let's dive in. My running journey began in 2019 after I moved to Canada. At that point, I have so much free time, no friends yet, and no other hobbies to keep me busy. That's when I stumbled upon a 5K race in downtown, so I thought to myself, why not? Have you ever signed up something out of a whim and have no idea what you're putting yourself into? That was me. My first 5K was brutal. I stopped, I walked, I cursed so many times, but crossing that finish line and receiving my finisher's medal, it was worth every single step. And I thought to myself, can I do it the next time but faster and running without walking? By the fall season, I've signed up for more 5K races, and one of the biggest one was the Toronto Waterfront 5K. And after all of those races, I saw an improvement in my time. I was able to run faster without walking. Running has started something small, but by the end of the year, it has become something bigger in my life. Then 2020, COVID hit. All of the races in my area got cancelled. Throughout that year, I kind of lost motivation for running. I started doing some regular workouts at home to just keep staying in shape, but the motivations, the adrenaline for training was not there anymore. Do you ever feel like COVID has disrupted your routines or motivations? If so, then you're not alone. But when looking back, I think that pause really reminded me how much I miss running and how has that been just a big part of my life. In 2021, all the races have started resuming again, and I was so determined to achieve something more. Instead of running the 5Ks again, I was committed myself to run 10K distance. But I think the turning point was when I joined a virtual running challenge, and that challenge has pushed me to run longer and actually finish my first half marathon all by myself with zero knowledge of training. I was dying after that run, but I feel like it has unlocked a new level of myself. So I thought to myself, could I go even further? In 2022, I set a goal that I once thought impossible, completing my first marathon. Now, training for those 42.2 kilometers completely changed my life. Have you ever so committed to a certain goal that it just reshaped your entire life? If so, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. During those 5 months, I woke up early to do my morning runs, also spent throughout the weekend doing those longer runs. and my social life just revolved around recovery. I even got my first official pair of running shoes and started to learn more about recovery, nutrition, and injury prevention. Crossing the marathon finish line, I think that was one of the proudest moments in my life, and it taught me that hard work and consistently will truly pay off. So after that marathon, I want to push myself more. So in 2023, I signed up for my first ultra-marathon, a 12-hour race that you try to run as many loops as possible. I ended up running around 65 kilometers, and that was also my first race that I started to raise funds for charity and receive huge support from friends and family. And that was also my introduction to trail running, which I completely love it. All the community, all the positive spirit, it was so different from what I have experienced on road running. And all the beautiful sceneries, you're running in the woods, just make trail running more attractive and exciting to me. But after that ultra, with all the adrenaline I have and all of the other ambitious goals, I signed up for another mountain race, and that was when I got injured. I ended up missing my marathon goals for the fall season, and it was really depressing. It was so hard for me to admit that I needed to slow down and let my body have some time to recover. So after some of the physio sessions, in early 2024, I was so determined to come back with a spring marathon race. But injuries just kept piling up, and the first half of 2024 was truly depressing. I had to turn off Strava. I just stopped talking about running because at that point, I couldn't even run properly. It felt like I was going backward where everyone else was progressing. That experience really forced me to reassess everything that I've done so far. My training, my nutrition, recovery, the gears that I used to figure out what went wrong. So I shifted my focus to recovery and gradually built up my body for a half marathon distance. I took one step at a time and trying to be patient with myself. And by the end of September, I actually hit my personal best in a half marathon race. That small achievement actually reminded me that victory doesn't have to be fast. All I need is just has to be consistent. Now, as the year comes to an end and all the races for 2024 were completed, right now I'm just trying to reassessing the whole year and planning for what to do in 2025. Definitely, I will place my focus on building a strong foundations and then gradually building up myself again to the marathon distance whenever my body is ready for it. And that's basically the story of how I got into running, how I progressed, how I faced setback, and right now is another new cycle, and I'm really excited about what to come in the next year. With more than 30 races completed and trying out around 20 pairs of running shoes, it sounds so cliche, but it hits so hard to me that running is about knowing to push your limits, but within your body capability. And everyone is different. You have your own journey. And as long as you're staying consistent, you'll be able to run faster, longer, and feel better about yourself. That's enough about me. What about you? How has your running journey or challenge looks like? I'd love to hear from that, so please leave those comments below. And if you like this video, don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and also share it to someone you feel like need a bit of running motivation for them to get started. That's it for today. Let's keep running forward. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.